When Catherine divorced, she had nowhere else to go and had to go back to her mother's house. Now she was not alone. She had a young daughter, Jessica. Catherine's mother, Dorothy, had long rebuked her for choosing a terrible husband. You should have thought of that when you married him. I told you I didn't like him, but you wouldn't listen, and now I have to feed you at my own expense. You and your child, and your husband left and didn't leave you any money. You should have sued him. Where can I find him now? Dorothy said. Kat tried not to argue with her mother. Mom, why are you fighting? He and I didn't see eye to eye. Am I going to regret it all my life? I'm not going to live off you forever. Jess will grow up a little and I'll go to work. Catherine tried to reason calmly. Dorothy clicked her tongue unhappily. As long as you get yourself a job, I have to support you, and so does Jess. God, I have to do everything myself, and Grandma Teresa too. When will I finally get some rest? Her grandmother didn't seem to bother Dorothy very much. She was old, but she still walked, cooked, cleaned the house on her own. She had a big house with 4 big rooms. She just needed someone to buy her groceries because she was having a hard time. Teresa sometimes bought things herself, but it was her daughter, Dorothy, who did most of the shopping. By the way, her grandmother was the only person who supported Catherine after her husband left her. Eva, Catherine's older sister, rebuked her too. You fool, Cat! You should have looked for a rich husband and you married a pauper, she grumbled. Look at me. Everything is going right for me. I took my time. I'm pushing my career. So what if I'm 29 years old? There's still time. But when I find a rich man, I'll have my whole life. Only Grandma was gentle and affectionate. Everybody makes mistakes. Love is like that. You can never predict how life will turn out. Love appears suddenly and disappears suddenly. Your mother has made so many mistakes in her youth, even before your father. And I told her and advised her and scolded her. But all for nothing. She's the one who lectures you now, and once you couldn't stand it when I taught her how to live. Her grandmother loved it when Catherine came to visit her, because the girl did not come alone, but with her daughter. The old woman would play with the child, and Catherine would help her grandmother around the house. And then she and her grandmother drank tea with delicious candy and chatted about everything in the world. Kat had never been so close to her mother. And then Grandma got sick and came down with pneumonia. At first, Dorothy went to see her mother every day, and then she started asking Kat more and more often. Go see her today. I don't have the strength. What patience it takes to listen to her. I'm a working woman. I don't have time to spend time with her. And it's like she doesn't understand that. I have my own things to do. And you're still sitting at home. You have nothing to do. So you go and see her until she gets better, Dorothy said. And Catherine loved her grandmother very much and worried about her. Of course, she went to see her every day. They lived almost next door, only 35 minutes on foot. Catherine did several useful things at once. She took her daughter for walks and helped her grandmother, and the grandmother was very glad that Catherine came. Dorothy was always snapping and shouting at her mother, and the old woman was afraid to ask her for anything. For about a month, Kat visited her grandmother almost daily. Sometimes she would ask her sister to help her, buy groceries at the supermarket, or take her and Jessica to Grandma's when the weather is bad or it rains. But as time went on, Eva increasingly refused. I don't have time to mess around with you guys. So what if it's raining outside? Don't go to our house today. Nothing will happen if you don't come. It's not like she's paralyzed. Eva found reasons not to drop her sister off. That's how Catherine ended up being the only one to visit her grandmother. And then even sadder things happened. Teresa fell and broke her hip. Catherine was at her place at that moment, and her grandmother's loud screaming startled Jessica. The girl started screaming, and Kat came running in from the kitchen. The elderly woman caught hold of a table leg and fell unluckily to the floor. Catherine called her mother. Dorothy came and got Jessica, and Catherine went with her grandmother to the hospital. Teresa spent a week in the hospital, and then they discharged her home. They said that with a fracture like that, she would have to stay in bed for a long time, and she could do it at home, but she needed special care. Teresa was moved home, and the question of what to do with her next arose. Catherine immediately offered to transfer her grandmother to their home, but Dorothy screamed, "No! No! That's out of the question! I could hardly stand going to see her once a week. I've already wasted so much nerve. I couldn't live with her, listening to her whine after work. No, I'm not going to settle for that," resented Dorothy. "What are you suggesting? That she should be alone? How can you do that? She can't walk. Can we leave her?" "Mother, I'm just shocked," Catherine said pitifully. "If you feel so sorry for her, then you move in with her. Take Jessica with you." "Why, that's a good idea. You don't work. You stay home. At least you'll be doing something useful. Your grandmother will be looking after, and you won't have to go back and forth." Mama was glad. But when Dorothy offered to put her mother in a nursing home, Catherine decided she couldn't do that to Teresa. She realized she would have to move in with her grandmother. Dorothy was very happy about that. Grandma cried when she found out they were going to live with her now. "Girl, what about you? Why, it would be hard for you here with me. After all, you have a little daughter. Maybe you can do things differently," Teresa mumbled. "Grandma, we've already made up our minds. There's nothing more to think about. We're all very worried and worried about you. Mom wanted you to move in with us, but I think you'd be more comfortable at home. It's not hard for me. I'm not working now anyway," Catherine answered, trying to keep the sadness out of her voice. "And I wanted to move in with you myself, so don't worry, everything will be fine." Catherine lied about her mother, so her grandmother wouldn't think she was a burden to everyone, and she wanted the old lady to think that everyone cared about her, not just Kat. But Teresa knew her daughter well, and she was sure that there had been tantrums at home when her fate had been decided. She knew that no one was going to move her. No one needed her. It had been like this before her illness, and now all the more so. Teresa was ready to cry from having Catherine by her side. That's how Kat came to live with her grandmother. Teresa behaved well, didn't bother her granddaughter unnecessarily, and Jessica behaved well at her grandmother's. At home, Dorothy was often annoyed when the child ran into her room without knocking. She wouldn't let Jessica touch her things, and she got terribly angry when the girl was naughty. But at her grandmother's, Jess behaved perfectly. Teresa told her bedtime stories every day, and the girl adored her great-grandmother. And Catherine was better off here than at home with her mother. She felt at ease here, and no one reproached her or told her that she was idle and not working. No one told her she was a fool not to find a proper husband. As time passed, almost no one else visited her grandmother. Only occasionally did Dorothy come, but not more than once a month. Catherine was now taking complete care of her grandmother. Eva never came at all. She was absorbed in her personal life and didn't care about her grandmother. Teresa had no girlfriends left, so they never had guests at home. Sometimes only a neighbor would drop by and bring her cookies. Teresa recovered, even though the doctor said that after such a fracture, she would never get out of bed. Apparently, her granddaughter's care worked a miracle. The old lady was already moving around the house slowly, and it was time for Catherine to go to work. She was about to take her daughter to daycare, but then another disaster struck. Teresa had a stroke and survived only because she was treated in time. The grandmother remained lucid, but her hands were shaking badly, and she walked very badly. Now it was clear that the old woman would definitely not be left without help. Catherine could not leave her grandmother unattended. Mum, it's a desperate situation right now. We need to take Grandma home. I have to go to work and I can't sit with her around the clock anymore. And there's always something at home. Either you're off or Eva's coming over, and I can come over on my lunch break from work. We can all take care of her together, Kat said to her mother over the phone. Dorothy reacted very negatively to this suggestion. No, I'm not going to move her. Do you feel sorry for her? Then sit with her on your own. If you get yourself a job, let her sit and wait for you from work. I'm not going to take her to my place. That's out of the question. Why do you have to go to work now? Sit with her. She'll support you. Is it bad for you? And when she dies, you go to work. Dorothy answered rudely. Her mother disconnected the phone, and Catherine couldn't stand it and cried. Why does everyone treat an elderly person this way? After all, she's not a stranger. She's a family member. What's going on? Kat wondered. Grandma always helped everyone. She babysat her granddaughters when Dorothy had to go to work. Teresa never said no when asked for help. Why did everyone become so horrible to her? When Catherine calmed down, she looked into her grandmother's room. She thought Teresa was asleep, but she wasn't. Grandmother said quietly, I'm so sorry you have to sit with me. I know I'm a burden to everyone and no one needs me but you. Catherine immediately began to comfort her grandmother. It's okay, Grandma. You're not a burden. We're just all looking together for the best solution to make you comfortable and feel good. But grandmother immediately stopped Catherine, raising a shaking hand. I heard you talking to your mother. I wasn't asleep. And why should I hear? I already know what your mother is like. She never bothered to help other people, always thinking only of herself. It's like I don't know that she can't stand me and she won't even lift a finger to make my life easier. You are the only one who treats me with such kindness and love that it breaks my heart. Kat didn't know what to say. She just sat next to her grandmother and stroked her shaky, wrinkled hand. After a few minutes, Grandma said, They both feel that you are a person with a good soul, a big heart, and you are an alien to them. They are not like that. They have a lot of greed, greediness, selfishness, and you are not like that, and I am so scared for you. What will happen to you when I am gone? Will you be able to rely on someone else? But I won't let that happen. I won't let you be left with nothing. I'll make sure you won't depend on them and no one will be able to hurt you, my dear. Don't worry, Grandma will take care of you. Catherine didn't understand what her grandmother was up to at first, but then Teresa told her to have Kat call her notary as soon as possible. No, Grandma, no, you don't have to do that. You don't have to think about it. I'll be all right. Mum and Eva will never leave me in trouble, and I'm sure they'll never do anything bad to me. Kat reassured Grandma. You'll check it out when I'm dead. I will do as I see fit. And when I'm gone, you can dispose of it as you like. I won't have any peace in the next world if I don't take care of all this now, Grandma said. Do as I say, and then my soul will be at peace. Catherine complied with her grandmother's request. She was willing to do anything to keep her grandmother from worrying and getting nervous. 2 months later, Grandma was gone, and the most interesting thing began. What her grandmother had warned Catherine about beforehand happened. They buried her grandmother with the money that grandmother had specifically saved for the occasion. Dorothy didn't pay a cent, and then it turned out that Teresa had put all her inheritance in Catherine's name. And now the big house where Kat and Jessica lived belonged only to her by right. And then it began. Dorothy threw a tantrum. Eva took part in it, too. Now they had enough time to come to Grandma's house and make a scene for Catherine. You are so mean. I knew I shouldn't have let you back in my house, but I thought you weren't capable of that. You think I'm going to let you keep everything? I'm entitled to an inheritance too, and I was counting on it. You can't have it all for yourself. Eva waved her hands in Catherine's face. Kat, you shouldn't have done that. It's not human. You know there's more of me. Is it fair that everything goes to you? Mum immediately intervened. What's that got to do with you, Eva? Actually, it was my mother, and the inheritance was supposed to go to me, and I would have divided it up as I saw fit. You betrayed me. How did you do it? Did you force her? Did you scare her into leaving her? Or did you talk trash about us? Dorothy said. Of course, I'm sure you've done nothing but talk nonsense about us all this time. Should he decided to leave everything to you? Dorothy delivered her verdict, and Catherine was shocked. How can you say that, Mother? You know I wanted us all to take care of Grandmother together. If you came over more often to talk to Grandma, you'd know. I was always protective of you. But Grandma wasn't blind. She could see that no one was coming to visit her. You didn't care about her, and now you're accusing me of something too, Catherine said. Eva immediately grinned. Of course. Who else would you blame? Sitting here with Grandma around the clock, acting like a saint. You didn't even have to say mean things about us. I could tell by the look on your face that you thought it was our fault. We didn't want to take her away. And Grandmother decided to give us one last surprise. What a freak. Catherine suddenly calmed down. She realized that any word she said would be twisted. Her sister and mother were set against her. She could not prove that the whole thing was only her grandmother's decision. They would never believe her. She loved all of us, don't you see? It's just that she decided I needed it more than you, and she did what she thought was important and necessary for her, Catherine said with a frown. Yes, I can see how she loved us. It seems to me that she didn't love us at all and did everything to spite us, and you were in on it with her. I think we ought to split it 3 ways. Sell this house and then split the money. I hope you will do the right thing, Catherine, said Dorothy. Catherine herself was sure she would do the right thing. If she didn't have a daughter, she probably would have done what her mother wanted. But Kat is a mother now, too. She has Jessica to take care of, and she will make one right choice that will be good for her and her daughter. And that choice won't please her mother and her sister. Yes, I will do the right thing, Mother. Only the right thing for me, not for you. I have a daughter to take care of. In this world, she and I would be of no use to anyone. Only Grandma cared and loved us. And you didn't care about me. You didn't care about Grandma or about Jessica and me. But I don't care anymore. I have a house now that I'll always be the mistress of, and no one will tell me that I'm sitting on my neck and that I'm stupid. And I'm not going to sell this house, Catherine resolutely declared.